Welcome back to Brazil. Yes, I'm still in Brazil. You've seen the Neil Pride talk. Well, we didn't do the JP talk, did we? And look who I've got next to me. We've got Werner Gnigler.
Right.
I see how I've been practicing that name.
Practice.
Obviously, long time JP shaper. How long have you been shaping JP Australia?
JP, right from the beginning, when we started together with Neil Pride, 2000. So
2000?
Yeah, we
Oh,
started.
so you were similar to Robert Stroy, because obviously we spoke to Robert yesterday.
But that was a different, because I was with F2 before for 13 years.
That is a very good thing.
So
yes.
it's a long
So
time.
for people who don't know, obviously JP Australia started out as part of the F2.
Yes, we had a license agreement with Jason and did an exclusive line under F2. And then when F2 got sold and everything, Neil Pride was interested in a board brand. So he bought the name JP and asked us to work for him. And so the main crew from F2 kind of started working for JP. And since then I do the JP boards.
Okay, that's interesting. Obviously, you know, it was based from Jason Pollock. That was where it started. But I think nowadays people coming in, they know JP as literally JP. Because, I mean, Jason Pollock has actually moved on off JP boards, which I think for the old school crew were like, that was kind of weird. But the new guys were like, well, there wasn't an association anymore.
We had so many meetings and dealer meetings and talks to end consumer. And so many times I've been asked the question, what does it stand for? You know? But still, Jason is a legend. At the beginning, you know, it was great to have him because he set a new standard in waves, and that gave us the image, a radical image and everything. So, and that we're working on still, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Talking to Jason Pollock and Wave Image, we have got the full range behind us. So we're going to talk about, I think, first we'll talk about, you know, a few of the wave ranges, a few of the wave boards in the wave range. So we've got the Ultimate Wave, the Magic Wave, and then we are going to touch on the Freestyle Wave and the Magic Move and how these guys sort of all combine together. So Ultimate Wave, this is, I guess, the Ultimate Wave board.
The most radical wave line. But since these days, you know, the market is so specialized, the riders, they have a clear vision what they want to have in the board and which conditions they want to ride. And that's why we need so many different board lines to cover that all. It's like in every sport, if you look at bicycle or cars or whatever, there's so many models these days, but people just want a specific look or design to cover their needs when they the conditions they mostly ride.
It's interesting you say that, because it was like back in the day, I remember when I was coming up, I just had this one board which was basically a fast bump and jump style board, and now we've got very specific things. And I guess the problem with having a very specific thing is if you have the Ultimate Wave but you want to come maybe here, or maybe here in Jerry's a bad example because we do have some decent waves here. But how does that fit in? So let's say these guys out there, they're looking to buy a JP board. Who needs this board? You know, where's the difference between the Magic Wave and the Ultimate Wave?
Obviously, the Ultimate is the most radical. So it's not that, I'm going to explain now that this is more for down the line and more sideshore conditions. This is more for onshore, but it doesn't mean that you cannot sail it in onshore conditions, because the range of use is pretty big and they overlap a little bit. But nevertheless, this is the board for nice wave riding conditions, talking about sideshore to side offshore, powerful waves, and if you obviously have the level to do that. So if you go to side onshore conditions, you can also have a lot of fun, like in France, the guys love that board.
But a bit of wind.
Yeah, you need a little bit of wind in the sail, and then it's fantastic. It gives you maximum control, high-speed turns. You can go wherever, you know, there's no limit to your performance. And this is the Ultimate Wave. So the Magic Wave is a bit, I would say, covers a bit of a bigger range of use. If the conditions are less than ideal, you have a lot of fun. They're wider, they plane better. You get going in onshore conditions, you don't get stuck, and it carries the speed easier through the turns when you don't have so much power from the wave. So it's just easier to get going. It has a thruster setup, more power from the fin, so you can push a little bit harder. And the Ultimate is a quad setup.
I was going to say that. Is it just a quad?
Yeah, it's just a quad.
Yeah.
So you can see already from the setup which direction or where it's positioned.
And what's your take on quad fin? I see you don't have 5 boxes. That's obviously a thing. How do you explain that? Because I mean, there are some brands that have 5 boxes, and that used to happen a lot more. And I would say now it's maybe changing a little bit. Do you design? When you're designing the board, you'll design it specifically for quad fin setup. Those fins.
Yeah. Because this board we also had 5 boxes in for a while because everyone wanted everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a high performance board and it's extra weight you don't really need because these guys, all our team riders ride them as a quad.
Yeah.
So if you're on an onshore spot, you theoretically could put a single fin in, but if you're used to your setup, you don't want to change. And the same with the Magic Move, that they mostly use it as a thruster, so why adding 2 more boxes in for extra weight?
Yeah.
And now, as you can see also, since we introduced this new technology, everyone wants more performance, lighter boards. So this is another reason, what's the point of trimming the technology to the absolute max and then putting 5 boxes in?
Yeah.
So you can see that the S-Tech technology is also something totally new. You can see all the patches and fibers,
Yeah.
So we really reduced it to the minimum. All these reinforcements and fibers, they're only there where you need them. So you can see they don't go all the way to the nose because nobody stands there.
Yeah.
So, and it's not full carbon because it's a wave board, which needs to have still some flex. That's why we do like diagonal, unidirectional fibers and so on. And then on top of that, it gets laminated in a special way that you get all the resin out. So this already reduces the weight. And then obviously in the finishing process, in the past, nobody wanted to see like where a fiber layer stops. They said, what's this? So we always had to cover it with paint and filler and so on. And that's all gone. So it's just laminated fibers where you need them, and then a pigmented resin to finish it off, and a little bit of color in the nose of the tail. That's it. So
see, it's interesting you say that though, because I always remember when the first sort of boards came out where they were just sanded. There was no color, and I had a few old school friends, let's say, and they were like, what the hell's this? This board's not finished. And now it's kind of normal. I think we all kind of accept that if we want a light board, you're going to probably see much more like this, which is quite interesting. So in terms of designing these boards, which riders have been like instrumental or helping mostly in the design project? Who do you like working with? We were speaking to Robert yesterday. It was kind of interesting to hear, the guys that were like, sometimes you don't expect those ones to be the best at testing or feedback, or is it like a full team effort?
Yeah. Our main wave team, it's Morgan, Robbie Swift, and Marino now. Obviously, I use these guys for testing because they have to compete with these boards.
Yes.
So sometimes, when we're working on a new board line, they have already the shape a year earlier, but they're basically riding these shapes.
Okay.
And if we expect them to win, then I can't involve them not in the development.
Yeah, okay.
So it's very important. So Morgan is obviously the most involved in the ultimate wave because he's the man for keeper. Swifty is the all-rounder because he does the tour for many, many years and also does very well on the onshore spots. And now Marino, obviously the king of Gran Canaria, the new king.
Yeah.
So he's amazing, and it's great to have all the feedback. And it's nice, they always push me and say, okay, I want this, and it's great, I always go with them to test and try to be on the water with them, so to understand the feedback and move forward.
What was your favourite? Obviously you're a board shaper, you shape all the boards, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you might have won a world title in all disciplines, because I was working out before, is that right?
Yes, I think I'm the only one who did all disciplines and hookkeeper, because winning all disciplines is one thing, but we always had the thinking of a lot of riders, you can only win in hookkeeper with a board from Maui. but Morgan won a couple of times, and Antoine Martin won on my shape. So I'm quite proud that I also achieved the Hookkeeper title.
But I'm guessing, and I think it's quite well known, but a lot of the guys in Hookkeeper probably have to ride a custom board. So you're tweaking maybe the Ultimate Wave a little bit for Hookkeeper, or
not for everyone. Like, it's based on the Ultimate. Like, Morgan rides like a 0.5 centimeter narrow version of the Ultimate Wave with the same volume, and he has a volume in between. Because it's 87 and 81, and he likes a 83 or 84.
So you've got to do a different volume.
No, you just do one in between. But I'm not going to change the concept because it works for him. It's just a small adjustment. But Robbie rides production boards. Marino rides production board. He won this year. He came new to the team. I couldn't work with him yet. We sent him the Ultimate Waves. He used it. He won. So what?
Can't argue with that, can you?
Can't be better.
No, you can't argue with that. No, that's good, man. That's good to hear. And you personally, what's your favourite discipline to sail? If you're, I guess you're into waves still.
Obviously, we all windsurfers. If we find nice waves, there's nothing to beat. But I also enjoy a lot. I spend a lot of time on Garda testing all the freeride boards and windsurf foiling. I still do a lot. The race foiling I enjoy a lot.
Where are you based?
In Austria, in Innsbruck.
Okay.
But since I travel a lot, I do the most prototypes now at the factory at Cobra. So I go there, build a lot of prototypes, and then I go testing wherever our team riders are. So I just need to carry the prototypes because they have all the gear. So we go to Maui, Canaries, Tenerife,
living the dream.
Garda a lot. Yeah, it's efficient, very efficient, because they're training all winter in the Tenerife. All the guys are there tuning. So they tuned in all their gear. So if I bring a prototype, it's quick.
And how forgive me for not knowing exactly, but the process now is obviously a bit more different. A lot of computer stuff you're doing in CAD, and then it gets made where if you're doing a prototype.
I send files like at the factory. They prepare the core, they prepare it. But then I go there and finish shape the boards. And
so rails, just make sure
everything is fine. Because especially on windsurf boards, when you're prototyping with the PVC construction, sometimes it can change a little bit. And it doesn't make much sense testing a board which is not 100%
you can't reproduce.
To the design. Because then you don't know what you're testing. You might get lucky, it's a fantastic one, but then you don't know why.
I gotcha. So you have to finish it exactly as it should be. Moving on. Obviously, Magic Wave, Ultimate Wave. This is for your, again, and it can be to do with wind as well. Like you say, control. The Ultimate Wave will have quite a lot of control in the high wind stuff.
Yeah, sure. But you know what it's like. The down the line condition is not so windy. It's just a powerful wave where you need the control because you're so fast down the face. And sometimes when it gets bumpy, you need ultimate control to be able to do the big stuff in the big areas and so. But control is all
the way.
That's one of the big things, isn't it? A recreational guy wants control, and the guy who sails chores needs control. It doesn't exclude any boardline control.
No, for sure. So we got Freestyle Wave and the Magic Move, and that's kind of interesting because that's the new board. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. So we've got new move, Magic Move. The Magic Wave crossover into the Freestyle Wave. When does someone kind of make the decision between the two?
Yeah, since we have so many boards, you're right, it becomes quite close. But we always try to give it, also with the name, a clear definition where they work best. The Freestyle Wave has been kind of our trademark, or like we set the standard for this.
Is that the best-selling move? Is that the best-selling board?
It's one of the best-selling, the Magic Ride and the Freestyle Wave line, because it's so easy. Because a lot of people, they can sail small boards in stronger winds. They go to destinations where it's windy, but they're not the full-on down-the-line wave riders. They like to play a little bit in waves, so they don't need a waveboard. Because a waveboard is set up with a rather small fin, and you need a kind of a different riding style, a bit more upright. And the Magic Freestyle Wave is totally forgiving. You step on, you have enough fin pressure, you can go. And the way we set it up, trim with the fin, with the bigger fin, it gives you enough response to get going.
Yeah, so you've got what, thruster in that?
Yeah, it's still a thruster.
So what's
but
that thing? Comes with a 94. Comes with a
20.
power box.
Yeah, power box. That's also the big difference. So you can also use bigger fins if you want, because in this segment, if you use a smaller fin, you can really trim it and tune it to be able to do kind of nice wave rides.
Okay, yeah.
But if you're not so advanced, and if you're sailing Greece or whatever, you don't have a breaking wave.
Yeah.
Some people even want bigger.
Yeah.
And then with the power box, you have a much bigger choice, because with wave fins, a slot box or the US box, it stops at 24 maximum.
Yeah, you can't really oversize it.
And this target group definitely needs more fin pressure. It's slightly longer, more even volume distribution. It gets going much, much easier. And you can also see the different options for the plugs.
Yeah.
You can set it up for more outboard position or more inside, depending on the conditions you're riding in. So
so you can set that with the double back.
Yes.
Double back foot strap and outward
in the front,
board on the
outboard.
front.
So you can really push harder, because most people do longer legs. They don't carve all the time. They play around in the open swell and open sea. So wave covers a huge range of use, and it's very easy to sail.
And then the magic move compared to the freestyle wave, I'm guessing there's a good crossover, but who's buying the magic move?
Yeah, we looked at this segment that I just talked about. The freestyle wave starts at 84 liter and goes 120 kind of. So it's a big volume range, but we talked a lot to the windsurf centers and they said even it's a quite easygoing board, between 90 and 110 liters, a lot of customers, as I said, they can sail small boards, but they don't really go in waves and they don't have the level to use a bit narrower tail.
Okay.
So, and the biggest problem people have is the jibe.
Yeah.
To keep planning throughout the jibe and generally getting going, getting planning. So early planning is #1 criteria for all our customers. We did a lot of surveys and it always comes back early planning.
Okay.
And second is jibe.
Interesting.
Jibe is a never-ending story.
It is. I've seen a lot. How many articles have you seen on jibing over the years? It's like, it is the one that, the gift that keeps giving, let's say. So one of the hardest moves.
Yeah. So that's why we decided, okay, we want to develop a board to cover that and give our customers a tool to manage the jibe much easier and much better. So looking at the two boards, you already see the most obvious difference is the tail width.
Yeah.
So a wider tail gives you more flotation, especially at the end of the jibe. And it's also throughout the middle, it's a more parallel outline.
Yeah.
So a bigger planning surface.
Has it got a slightly flatter deck, or is that me? Maybe it's the graphics.
It ends up being slightly flatter because it's
wider,
wider, so you have to stretch it out. But still, it's a very even deck that you can also use both footstrap options inside and outside. But a wide tail often means that it's hard to grab, or that the rail bites. And you can see we have a special design feature on the tail with kind of a step rail. Here. So it's really thin.
Yeah, yeah.
So even if you have a wider tail, it kind of bites and doesn't jump out of the turn. And also in the middle, the rail shape is slightly different. You can see here the apex point, meaning the highest point of the rail, is slightly higher compared to the freestyle wave. And it means the rail is a bit fuller. So also when you rail up the board, it doesn't dig in so deep.
Okay.
And it just keeps going in a more gentle way. And like wave boards and freestyle wave is a bit thinner, so you can carve it harder. But this target group wants to just keep the speed and exit the jibe on the plane, not stopping.
How long does it take you to go from pro? I mean, obviously this is a difficult question because every board is probably different. I'm already guessing your answer now, but how long usually would it take to go from sort of prototyping a board? How many stages or how many boards do you have to make? Are you pretty good now with, because I'm guessing with computer stuff, you can do small changes quite easily.
Small changes make big difference.
Yeah.
Because, all the boards, they have such a high level already. It's not that you can just throw out a board and it's 10 times better. So when we decide to work on a new concept, because this was a total new concept, then we think about where we want to go. And obviously throughout my experience over the years, I kind of know what changes benefit this concept. And then I start with 2 or 3 prototypes, slightly different
So is that
ideas
what you have? You have 2 to 3 that you basically
on
take?
one on the key size.
Okay.
I start with with the key size, depending how new the concept is, 2 or 3 ideas, and then we start testing, and then we filter all the things out, and then if I'm lucky, I make the next one, already 2 sizes, I'm there, and if I'm not totally happy, then normally latest the 3rd step should be,
Okay.
and then I can make all sizes and then put them in
Interesting.
production.
And when you're, when you're scaling, I guess, when you're doing different volumes, is it just a case of scaling, or are you changing many things?
Since our ranges are not like stupid big, we don't have a freestyle wave from 80 liter to 150.
Okay, yeah.
The scaling works pretty well. There's small tweaks from the biggest to the smallest, but generally the scaling works quite well because like Magic Move, it's 3 sizes.
Yeah.
And they, within the same range of use, same target group, same features, so I don't need to change, Like on the freestyle waves, the biggest has a slightly wider tail proportional to the smallest one because it's going to be used in lighter wind and much heavier guys. But generally the lines, the scaling works pretty well.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, I think we have got more boards to talk about, but we're going to do that in a separate video. So we're going to go on to the Magic Ride, the Super Ride, we've got the Super Sport, and then the slalom board as well. So yeah, you'll have to stay tuned to the channel. Mr. Gnigler is coming back. See you soon.